How you doing, YouTube family? Today is Wednesday, November 27th, 2024. It's your man, Big D, and I'm back with another one. Before I get to this next episode, I just want to say I appreciate you for continuing to support my son and I. We love the support, and he and I appreciate it. Thank you. Family, I have a lady friend of mine that I have been knowing for a number of years. And over these years, we have always had many debates in regards to where does love and money fall in a relationship. And she is of the mindset that in a relationship, love is all that you need. In a relationship, love conquers all. And she would always say that I wouldn't say materialistic, but I don't think she would use that word. But she would probably say that I am one of those people that I am an X's versus the O's kind of guy. And for me, based on how I grew up, for me, the only way to get to a certain level at life, you have to do what it takes to become wealthy. You have to be willing to sacrifice it all if that's what it takes. So she would often say that, well, you think the only thing that matters in a relationship is the money. It's the money. And I disagree, because I believe that love is the most important thing. And even now more than ever, I still ride with what I believe. Because in a relationship, love don't pay the bills. In a relationship, love don't pay the mortgage. In a relationship, love don't make sure that you have all these amenities, these luxuries. These, love didn't manifest a 3,000 square foot house, 5-bedroom, 3-car garage, and all the bells and whistles. See, love didn't manifest that. So, and definitely, love is not going to be enough to keep that woman when she decides that you just ain't cutting the mustard anymore. Let me tell you why I came to this realization, and when I came to this realization. I was raised by a single mother, and for the most part, she raised me until about, I don't know, maybe till I got to like maybe 12 or 13. And at that point, she married a guy and he became my stepfather. So at that point that my mom had married my stepfather, the house that I was raised in and lived in, it was her shit. And back in those days, that was a phenomenal feat for a black woman, a black person, period, but a black woman to get a loan to build this house that, for all practical purposes, what she paid to build that house, you know what I paid for my car, I could have bought 5 of them houses, 6 of them houses. That house was only $15,000 back then. But for a black person to get a $15,000 loan, it was like God would have to ascend from the heavens and move mountains for them white folks to give a black person a measly loan for $14,000 to $15,000. And that's what it cost my mom to build her house that she paid off. And nobody, she's so proud because she paid every payment herself on a $15,000 loan, which I could have paid that house off for her 3 times over a long time ago. But it wasn't about her children paying it off. It was about her paying it off. So I learned then when my mom and stepdad would get in their little arguments and what have you. Listen, my mom would have no problem letting him know that, hey, this is my shit. This is my house. And you living in my shit. And I tell you, every time that, an argument came up, that always came out. And I know that my stepdad didn't like that shit. So I didn't grow up in the conditions was what they were, you know what I'm saying? And, I don't want to go into all of that, but I'll say this. I knew then that if I wanted to be at a certain level at life, if I wanted to be in a position where a woman could not do to me like my mom would do to my stepdad and remind his ass that this is my shit. And the sad thing about it was that my stepdad had a very good job for a black man in those days. So technically, he could have bought another house and put my mom in that, and they probably could have rented that house out, my mom's house, and had a residual income. But back in them days, it was a whole bunch of BS going on, and black folks weren't thinking like that. So, you had a brother, my step pops making all this money, and he much rather gamble that shit away at the damn at the horse track and the dog track. But that's another story. So I knew then that I would have to be willing to sacrifice it all to get to a level that I knew that I would never be in a situation where a woman would tell me, hey, this is my shit. And you ain't got to be here. You here because I want you here. See, I always knew that that wasn't the way it was supposed to be, but I didn't understand why. Because back in those days, if you didn't have a good, male role model to lead you the right way, well, then you didn't always get the best. You don't always get the best knowledge that you should get when it comes to being a young black man navigating the world. Sometimes you have to figure it out for yourself. Sometimes you learn from the bumps and the bruises. See, that's just the way it was. So I knew that I had to do what I had to do. So now, how does that translate to love versus money in a relationship? See, if love was really all that mattered in the relationship, I don't think my mom would have kept letting my stepdad know, hey, this is my shit. If love really mattered in a relationship or in a marriage or what have you, then there would not have always been arguments over, well, what happened to the money? What happened to this? What happened to that? You know what I'm saying? Wasting your shit at the damn dog track. See, if love was all that mattered, when them white folks wanted that money that my mama owed them for that little measly $14,000 mortgage, love wasn't gonna pay them white folks. And my mama knew that love wasn't gonna pay them white folks. That's why she had to make sure that my stepdad didn't fuck his money up on the dogs and wasted it. So I knew then that a real dude, a solid dude, had to know that he was a man. He was willing to do whatever it took to be successful. It don't matter if it took you to the other ends of the earth. Some of us was willing to do it. And for the ones that made it back safely, we are able to enjoy the fruits of our labor. So I say this, if love was really what it was all about, then how come is it there's so many divorces? How come is it women don't have no problem when the dude they allegedly love and marry, that you the best I ever had, how come is it if his finances drop off, or if there's a significant change in his finances, well, now you looking to level up, and most of you will monkey branch to somebody else before you go ahead and break it off with your soon to be ex-husband, your soon to be ex-boyfriend. See, I know what it is. So if it was truly all about the love, ladies, how come it is so easy for you to be so disrespectful to your man? How come is it that if it was all about love, as you said, my good lady, my good ma'am, if it was truly all about love, then love should conquer all. Love shouldn't matter if a man ain't making 100,000. Shouldn't matter if you don't want no 50-50 man. Shouldn't matter. Shouldn't matter. Shouldn't matter if you go and you making 80,000. Shouldn't matter if he only making 30 or 40. If it was all about the love. But why come is it women have no problem letting men know that beyond it all, you gotta be your ass better be at least 6 foot. And if your ass ain't 6 foot, you better be working with something. Well, I tell you what, gentlemen, I'm far from 6 foot. I wish I could say I was, but I'm not. So I knew that because I'm not 6 foot and I'm shorter than that, well, guess what? I had to make sure that I checked off a whole bunch of other boxes. So if it was all about the love, it wouldn't matter if Buddy 6'2", 6'3", 6 pack or not, I would have dad bod, or if he piking, you know what I'm saying, if he piking a whole 12 inches, or he ain't working with number 6, if it was all about the love. But we know time and time again that we are reminded that if you lose any status in life, whether it be financial or hell, whether she just got bored with your ass, she gonna kick your ass to the curb. And she'll kick it in such a way that you say, damn, what happened to the love? It's like the love never existed. So we have many examples that women have no problem with letting you know that if you ain't doing what make them happy, they don't give a damn about love. See, love is one of those words, it's one of those feel-good words, right? It's a word that people oftentimes use it, but they really don't know the definition of it. And women sometimes can be very disingenuous in that they'll love the shit out of them, and they'll love bomb a dude to death. Baby, I love you, I love you, I love you. And guess what, ladies? It take a man a little bit longer to say that word with comfort and ease, with certainty. It take a man a little bit longer. But because you all sometimes peer pressure the fuck out of men with that word, men sometimes just crack up under the pressure. Yeah, I love you too. But when they say that, ladies, it's not in how you think it. Yeah, they love you. They don't want to see you get ran over by a damn car. But no, not to the point they love you where they finna, they finna give you their last name and they finna move your ass in. No, that's not it. So love is one of those things where some women are in love with the idea of being in love. So, as I said, as a young boy, I learned that at the end of it all, if your status ain't at a certain level, if your wealth ain't at a certain level, love don't mean a damn thing. Well, family, always remember, be more tomorrow than you were yesterday. Peace.